Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again here at the Commentary Hub, the home of alternative commentary, with the association of JDAC Football and Storm FM, with Mike Harneman's radio station, and of course JB Sports and a few others. And welcome aboard here for the second part of our show today. We've seen Leicester City snatching the Community Shield earlier by beating Manchester City 0-0 with the commentary of JB earlier. And now we're about 7 or 8 minutes away from Sheffield United versus Birmingham City from Bramall Lane. And with me today is Mike Harneman, who's going to be one of the presenters today, and our match commentator, Liam Brusby. Good afternoon, gents. Good evening, gents, in fact.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me on. It's an absolute privilege to be here today.
Thank you very much, Liam. And hello, Mike. Good evening again, Mike.
Good evening again, JB. Obviously, John, I should say as well. But just JB's on my brain. You were just saying about him just a minute ago from that commentary. So there you go. That's my second mistake of the season already.
I tell you what, if JB's in your mind, I don't know what else is going through your mind. Of course, Sheffield United, who were been relegated from the Premier League last season, have finished bottom in a very terrible season, to be fair. And Birmingham, who actually didn't do well themselves, didn't they? They actually finished 18th in the Championship last season. But of course, both teams are hoping to a new season, a new start, and a promotion. Liam, I'll come back to you first. What have we got for the team lineup, and what one of the players actually looking for?
Okay, so for Sheffield United, we have got, of course, Aaron Ramsdale in goal, re-signed for Sheffield United in 2020 for £20 million and is back with the Championship club. George Baldock in the number 2 position with John Egan and Jack Robinson, the other defenders. Ben Osborne also playing for Sheffield United tonight. John Fleck, of course, has been with the Blades since 2016, all the way in League One. We've got Oliver Norwood, who had a youth career with Man United, playing for the Blades tonight as well. Sander Berger, the record signing for Sheffield United, playing as well. And then we've got David McGoldrick, the top scorer for Sheffield United last season, with Leipzig and Oliver Burke rounding off the starting 11 for Sheffield United. For Birmingham City as well, we have Matthias Sarkic, who's making his debut for tonight, signed from Wolves, 24 years old. It should be interesting to see how he does tonight. Maxime Collin represented France at under 21 level, joined in 2017. Will be playing in that right back position. Captain for the Blues tonight is Harley Dean. It's his 161st appearance tonight for Birmingham City. Mark Roberts as well, 31 years old, signed in 2017, has been here ever since. Christian Pedersen wearing a number 3 tonight, 27 years old, looking to get a good start to the season in the Championship. With Ryan Woods, of course, making his debut, signed for Stoke earlier on this season. Gary Gardner partners him in the middle of the field with Jeremy Bella on the wing, with Taif Chong, another debutant, wearing another 7 shirts. He must have quite a lot of faith in him. Lucas, I'll try and get this one right, Lucas Jutkovic, 32 years old, Birmingham's top scorer last season, with Scott Hogan alongside him, making the starting 11 for Birmingham City. But yeah, it should be an absolutely interesting one. I think in terms of Sheffield United, the player that you have to look out for is, of course, Sander Berge. He's had a cracking pre-season. Lots of Sheffield United fans really thinking that he could have a really good season. Of course, like I mentioned before, their record signing, it's surely looking good for Sheffield United. And of course, I think the player that you've got to look forward to seeing for Birmingham City as well as Taif Chong. 3 loan spells in the last 1.5 seasons. He was at Werder Bremen earlier last season. He's 21 years old, a Man United player, but of course at Birmingham City on loan this season. It should be an absolute cracker of a game for him.
Thank you very much, Liam. And we'll come back to you in a couple of minutes or so when the players are coming out, and you can run us through the first half. Liam Brusby, everyone, one of the new recruits, fantastic commentator, which you'll enjoy his commentary very well. Mike, I'll come back to you quickly. Just quickly regarding Sheffield United. We got names, obviously, that we know because Sheffield United have been in the Premier League in the last few seasons. The only one that I will talk about is actually Ramsdale because of the time. And Ramsdale, obviously, his future hasn't been set yet, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Of course, Aaron Ramsdale has been linked with Premier League clubs, Arsenal being one of the main standout ones that's been thrown around for the last couple of weeks. But it's going to be interesting to sort of see how he performs today. You know, Sander Berg that was just mentioned as well. John Fleck. This Sheffield United a side that got some good results in the Premier League as well. Yes, they were relegated, but even last season picked up some surprising results and surprising wins. So it's going to be interesting to see how they get on in the Championship opener today and how they get on this season. Whether they're able to bounce back at the first time of asking. Are
we expecting not sort of an easy win, but probably a win for Sheffield United? We've got the McGoldricks, the Burks, the Mousses, who actually got experience in the Premier League, and they know where the goal is done as far as United is concerned. Yeah,
they do, but at the same time, Birmingham have got a very, very good squad. They've got a lot of strength in depth, a lot of quality. I'd like to look at this Sheffield United if you sort of side, even if look at the back line with Bulldog and Egan and Osborne in there as well. And then if you look at the bench, they've got McBurney, Sharp, Brewster, Freeman, who I know very well from playing at Arsenal and also playing at Stevenage as well, who can come on off the bench for Sheffield United. So they've got options to use. And, if you look at Birmingham's side, they've got a good side. Gardner's experienced, obviously. Chong's exciting. Jukovic knows where the back of the net is. Hogan as well. And another former Stevenage man, Chuck Sanike, on the bench for them as well.
Thank you very much, Mike. We'll come back to you at half-time to discuss give you the first-half analysis. And now we'll go back to Liam Brusby for the start of the first half. Good evening, Liam, again.
Thanks, John. And yes, of course, welcome to the first game in the Championship this season for Sheffield United and Birmingham City. We're at Bramall Lane tonight, looking like it will be a sellout crowd. 3,000 fans in the away end tonight for Birmingham City, but they have no transport to get back tonight. So let's hope that the team coaches are there to help them. A 4-4-2 formation for Birmingham City tonight and for Sheffield United as well. It's like playing a game of Snap here. Of course, Jukovic and Hogan, the front two for Birmingham City. Lee Bowyer, the manager as well for Birmingham City. It's only his 11th game in charge for the Blues since taking over in March 2021. Formerly a Birmingham City player, actually, was Lee Bowyer. He made 81 appearances for the Blues, scoring 10 goals. Sheffield United manager Slavica Johanovic, it's actually his first professional game in charge for the Blades tonight. And he's also Sheffield United's first overseas manager. Just looking at the lineups here, Taif Chong, of course, the player I think to look out for Birmingham City. It's his debut tonight. Lines reset now, just showing us on the screen. 1 goal in his last 33 appearances and, of course, 10 starts. So a lot of them games coming off the bench. But it doesn't look like he's made much of an impact since his record scoring season 6 goals. That season he signed for Sheffield United, but hasn't made the impact he'd like to since then. Lukas Jukovic, 19 headed goals since 2018-19. That's the most in the Championship. Let's see if we can grab some more today. You're, of course, listening to the alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. And, of course, this is the Commentary Hub. Today's Player of the Match sponsor, of course, which we will talk about at the end of the game, is sponsored by Commentary Services. So, just waiting for kickoff now. Sheffield United in their patented red and white, and, of course, the Blues playing in blue tonight. It looks like it will be Birmingham City kicking off. Capacity crowd here at Bramall Lane. It should be an absolute cracker. Just waiting for kickoff now. Of course, the first game for these two sides in the Championship, looking to make a good impression. It's not actually the first. It's not the first time that they have met each other in the first game of the season in the Championship back in 2008. Both teams met each other with Kevin Phillips scoring the winner for Birmingham City. Of course, they went on to gain promotion that season, finishing just 1 place ahead of the Blades in 3rd place. Both teams taking the knee, fantastic to see, and we will have Birmingham City kicking off from left to right. So kick-off now, going straight to the centre-back, and a long ball forward, almost dispossessed there by the Sheffield United striker. You've got Jukovic getting pulled down to the floor and a foul given straight away after McGoldrick pulled Jukovic to the floor. Ball just gets kicked away by Mousset there. Once again, capacity crowd tonight, near 30,000 fans in the ground tonight. We've got Jeremy Bella on this free kick. It looks like it will be an in-swinger here. Will it go into the penalty area? Yes, it will. It's a good headed effort And then Taif Chong gets a nice, clean connection on it just outside the 18-yard box, but nothing comes from it. It will be a throw-in to Birmingham City. Long throw-in coming in just a second. Into the 6-yard box, but headed away once again by Sheffield United. Chong gets a header on, but it looks like it will be an offside. Is Ramsdale a bit clumsy going to collect that ball? But yes, the offside flag has been shown now. Ramsdale just taking a second to get back up. The referee going to check on him to make sure he is okay. It went straight to the head of Vukovic, of course, trying to get a couple more headed goals this season, and actually came off his arm on the rebound. But here we go, free kick will be taken for Sheffield United. Back to Ramsdale. Ramsdale can hold on to it for a little bit. Gives it over to John Egan. Back to Ramsdale. Over to the captain, Robinson tonight. Oliver Norwood just getting a little bit deeper. But it's a long ball across the face of goal. And a foul given once again to Sheffield United. They can try and get the ball a little bit further up today. Norwood once again playing like a left back here. Drives forward just a little bit. And now we've got the number 14. That is Oliver Burke, signed from West Bromwich Albion just last season. It will be a goal kick. Yes, a goal kick to Birmingham City. Just looking at a replay now. It's a nice long ball forward, but Oliver Burke just couldn't get the connection that he wanted. And the second touch, unfortunately, just goes out of play. Once again, a goal kick. Free kick given to Sheffield United once again. That's Harley Dean on the floor, but I'm not too sure what's occurred here. We'll have a look at the quick replay if it is shown. Here's Sander Berge now. Going back to John Egan. John Egan playing centre-back tonight. And then there's Ollie Norwood, who's playing as a centre-mid tonight, but looks like he wants to sort of try and track back and play as a centre-back as, like we said, just battles with the number 4, Mark Roberts. But Roberts is best in that battle. Of course, like we said, second best. And will be a throw-in to Birmingham City. Lee Bowyer, the manager, as previously mentioned, a former Blues player, wants to make sure that everything will be okay this season for them. It's not been the best of seasons the past few years for Birmingham City. 18th, 20th, 17th, 19th, and 19th in their last 5. There's Baldock, maybe making it just a little bit hard there for Ramsdale. The ball goes out of play for a throw, and once again, Ramsdale maybe just a bit too cautious there, giving the ball away. Slavisa wants to make sure that he can go straight back up with Sheffield United this season. He has already gained promotion from the Championship with 2 different clubs before, of course, winning the Championship, coming second in the Championship with Watford back in 2014-15, and then just a couple of seasons ago with Fulham going up via the playoffs. Did end up getting sacked by both teams before the season started for Watford and about midway through the season for Fulham. It's going to be another long throw-in taken by Mark Roberts here for Birmingham City. A lot of confusion in the box there, but once again cleared out by Sheffield United. The ball goes straight back in, and Vukovic can get held on it this time. The number 20 for Birmingham City, Gary Gardner, gets his head back on it. Now it's Taif Chong, who can run with it if he wants to, but does just pass it over to Jeremy Bella. Overlapping is Taif Chong now. And then back to the Birmingham half, playing it nice and safe. Mark Roberts once again has the ball. And a long ball forward. And now that's Scott Hogan who's open, but just cannot get control of it. And Aaron Ramsdale can pick up the ball nice and cleanly, and it'll go back over to Sheffield United. Robinson now to Osborne, playing as a left back tonight. Usually a left winger, but I think with some of the problems that Sheffield United have been having, they haven't brought any permanent signings in or any loan signings in, as a matter of fact. I think they are having to resort to just different techniques to play players at different positions. Birmingham have been complete opposites, bringing in quite a few players. 3 debutants tonight for Birmingham. Of course, Taif Chong being one of them. Then we have Ryan Woods, 27 years old. He's wearing the number 6 tonight for the Blues. And then, of course, the keeper as well, Matthias Sarkic, signed from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Be interested to see how he does in his debut as well. Of course, Neil Etheridge, the usual starting goalkeeper for Birmingham City, out with COVID-19 at the minute. Should be back in the next couple of weeks, but it's not what you want at the start of the season. Having to rely on maybe a second-string goalkeeper. But, of course, he will be fighting to keep his place now as Taif Chong, about 30 yards back from the Birmingham goal, wins a throw-in as the ball just comes off John Fleck. He's playing as a midfielder today, John Fleck, along with Sander Berge and Oliver Norwood. Of course, played for Club Brugge last season as well as Werder Bremen. Got 5 assists in 13 appearances for them. It's now Jutkiewicz again is behind the back line. Sorry, that's Scott Hogan. And it's another offside. That's 3 offsides in the opening 7.5 minutes for Birmingham City. They are trying to break that back line down, but the offside trap of Sheffield United just too good. And I'll tell you what, that is quite tight. I think he is just offside. Of course, the linesman has got that one right this time. Scott Hogan give him a bit of a look of disgust after that. Was, of course, the 3rd time it's happened to him. We've got McGoldrick on the left-hand side, could put one in. It's a nice little move to beat the number 6 there in Ryan Woods, of course, the debutant. Now a bit of a scrap between Jutkiewicz and Norwood. McGoldrick back with it on the other hand side now, the right-hand side. Over to Norwood, then back to McGoldrick. Oliver Norwood had the youth career of Man United, and it's his 4th season with Sheffield United this season. It's not where I think he would have liked them to be. Of course, after such a good opening season in the Premier League, finishing 9th and potentially having some European football if it weren't for maybe a dastardly goal against Aston Villa that wasn't given. Sheffield United just playing it around the back now, just making sure that they can get their touches in. It's been a bit of a rocky start for them. Birmingham looking like the better side in the opening 9 minutes. Of course, I mentioned before about Birmingham signings. They're not done yet. Of course, Lyle Taylor is a target for the Blues. There has been some problems regarding Lyle Taylor, maybe just a bit of an attitude problem. But Lee Bowyer says he has a solution. He believes that just an arm around his shoulder would be just what he needs. And he hopes that he can bring that arm around the shoulder to him if he does sign for Sheffield United. It would, of course, be a welcome addition. The likes of Jutkiewicz and Scott Hogan just getting on a little bit. Jutkiewicz, 32 years old. Scott Hogan, 29, turning 30 very soon. Possibly past their prime, but we shall see, of course, this season. As Aaron Ramsdale, a bit of an odd long ball, only got to the halfway line. Lance Bissett couldn't control it. And then the number 12, John Egan, can get it away, but it will be a Birmingham City throw-in. Yes, it will. Nearly kept in there by Elias Musset, but Pedersen just put pressure on and made sure that it would be a throw into Birmingham City. Elias Musset, of course, signed in the opening season in the Premier League for Sheffield United and scored 6 goals. He was the joint top goal scorer for the Blades with 6 goals. Joint top goal scorer, of course, with Ollie McBurney, who has had his problems off the pitch in the past season. Of course, of the pandemic, it hasn't helped anyone. The ball just skimming across the pitch there. You can tell it's been a wet day in Sheffield. Now there's the number 14, Oliver Burke. He can push on a little bit, but dispossessed there by Tae Chong, using a little bit of his defensive prowess to make sure that Sheffield United couldn't get a look in at goal. Number 2 now, that's Maxime. That's Maxime Collin for Birmingham City, just driving but not getting through the Sheffield United back line. Is Jeremy Bella now. Sheffield United players keeping very, very tight with him. Long ball now, dispossessed by John Egan. And there's Oliver Burke to Sander Berger. Great pre-season for him. Then McGoldrick, who tries to play a long ball forward to Elias Musset. It was a bit of a no-looker, actually, from McGoldrick, the top goal scorer last season in what was quite a woeful season for the Blades. He hasn't scored in his last 11 games against Birmingham. Hopefully, he can break that duck tonight, though. Goal kick taken by Sarkic. It's up the right-hand side. And Jutkiewicz once again getting that head onto the ball. And then a foul, potentially. No, Scott Hogan goes down. No foul given. He'll not be happy with the referee or the linesman for that because it did look like a foul. As Ramsdale once again gets the ball forward. Nice Musset chasing it, but Pedersen will have the upper hand. And then Sarkic, very brave, going out the goal there. Heads it away for a throw-in and then sprints back to his box. And now throw-in taken by Sheffield United to Sander Berger. Ollie Norwood back to Berger. And then once again, back to the back line. There's John Egan on the ball there. Over to Norwood once again, who can get it to McGoldrick, who's sitting quite far back. And that'll be a free kick, a push on McGoldrick by Ryan Woods. First 12 minutes, it's been a cagey affair here. I think both teams just trying to suss each other out. I think with the same formations being played by both teams, though, it's not the easiest thing to do. Back to Aaron Ramsdale, the ball goes, though, over to the number 19, Robinson, for Sheffield United. Holds the ball for a little bit and then takes it forward to Oliver Norwood and then back to Ramsdale. It is very, very tight football here. Not much pressure by the Blues. As Sander Berg can just drive forward a little bit and then wins a free kick after Jutkiewicz just brings him down, sticks a leg out, leaves a leg in. And that's a free kick taken quickly over to Robinson once again. Here's Osborne, McGoldrick. And then back to Ramsdale once again. Once again, you can see the ball spraying all that rainwater. As a long ball forward, he stays on side, does number 2. That is George Baldock. He plays a really nice ball into the overlapping Oliver Burke, but it will be a corner for Sheffield United and the first real sight of goal for the Blades as well. Looking at the possession in the first 14 minutes, 75% to Sheffield United. Birmingham really struggling to keep a hold of the ball, and when they have the ball, not really doing much with it at all. You are, of course, listening to the alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Corner now for Sheffield United. Corner whipped in by Sheffield United. McGoldrick and Egan tried to get their heads on it. No one from Sheffield United managed to get their head on it. And now we've got Osborne trying to just get a bit of space so he can cross the ball in. It links up really well with McGoldrick. The ball whipped in and nothing comes from it. And now Tae Chong can counter-attack. Passed it on to the number 20 for Birmingham City. That's Gary Gardner. Dispossessed, though, and Osborne can counter-attack once again. Plays a nice through ball through to Oliver Burke on the left-hand side. And Harley Dean just has to bring him down. And it will be a goal kick. No free kick given. So great defending by the Birmingham City captain. 30 years old is Harley Dean. He's been here since 2017 as well. Lots of players who still play for Birmingham City had joined in 2017. So clearly the class of 17 in terms of the signings was great for Birmingham City. Slavisa Jokanovic, of course, Sheffield United's first overseas manager, taken over from Paul Heckenbottom and Chris Wilder as well, who won them promotion from the Championship to the Premier League and had that cracking first season. Of course, finishing 9th. Here we go now. Is Scott Hogan just by the corner flag on the right-hand side. And it will be a corner to Birmingham City. This is the 111th meeting between these two sides. Sheffield United not with the best record. They've only won 3 out of their last 11 meetings. And the last win was in 2009 with a 2-1 win at home that season. Of course, it was the season that they finished 3rd. Birmingham City finished 2nd and they went up in the automatic. Spots of the most headed goals as well. A little stat that's just popped up on the screen. Birmingham 17. So they will be really prominent from corners here, as it's actually kicked there by the number 20 Gary Gardner, and Aaron Ramsdale can pick that up nice and cleanly. Has a little bit of pressure from Jutkovic, but can throw it over to George Baldock. George Baldock, a player who has been with the Blades since 2017. It's actually his 132nd game for them tonight. Has been through absolute thick and thin with them. And it's a long ball from Lais Mousset to John Fleck, who's playing on that right-hand side now. Taif Chong having to get back. Has played really well in these opening 17 minutes, you must say. Shielding the ball from him and then manages to kick it out only as far to Oliver Norwood, who looks to get a ball in, but just has to pass it to Sander Berger, who gets pressured by Gary Gardner again. Ball left by Sheffield United, and that means it's been dispossessed. Long ball up by Jeremy Bellis. Scott Hogan will try and win that, but it is won by John Egan, and it will be a throw-in once again to Birmingham City. It has been an interesting start to this first half. Neither team really sort of showing that killer instinct to try and break the deadlock. Of course, 19 minutes played here, and it's still 0-0. We have some cracking games coming up, of course, on the Commentary Hub tomorrow. Fulham taking on Middlesbrough, trying to get promoted once again. Promoted in the playoffs last time out. And then we've also got Coventry City taking on Nottingham Forest. Nicholas Jones will be hosting that one. Of course, Russ will be hosting the Fulham versus Middlesbrough game. So there's a header and it's gone in, and that's the number 2 of Maxime Collin, seemingly out of nowhere, really against the run of play. And Birmingham City have taken the lead, and the 3,000 away fans at Bramall Lane go absolutely mental. That is the start that they needed to kick off their season. You think, hopefully, this could be the start of things to come for Birmingham City. Hasn't been the best 5 seasons for them. Jeremy Belly, you can see on the floor, and it's the number 6 of Ryan Woods, actually, who really does well before Jeremy Bella gets the ball in, and Colin just running from behind the 18-yard box in to get that early cross, and it's a cracking header, just beats Aaron Ramsdale on that right-hand side. 1-0 to Birmingham City, really against the run of play, but a cracking goal, and that is just what Birmingham needed to switch the tempo in this game. Ben Osborne, just a passenger to the flying Colin there. Colin, of course, represented France at under 21 level. It's 100 and, it is quite a big thing for him. He doesn't get goals often. Joined in 2017. I believe that's only his 7th goal since joining. 29 years old as well. This could be potentially his breakthrough season for Birmingham City. And what will Sheffield United do now to try and level this game up? McGoldrick now on the left-hand side. Looks like he's playing as a centre-back the way that he's running. Trying to just switch the play up over to Sander Berge, who brings the ball in. And that's Oliver Burke, who hits the post. That was a cracking effort, nearly levelling the scoring almost a minute after Birmingham scored. A throw-in now to Sheffield United. That was really unfortunate for Oliver Burke. We'll see it on the replay now. A cracking ball through by Sander Berge. Great vision to see the run on Oliver Burke, and just hits it with the inside of his right foot. It just hits the inside of the post and then goes back out. Matthias Sarkic really couldn't do anything about that. It just went under his arms. Sheffield United have the momentum at the minute despite Birmingham City's goal. they'll be absolutely kicking themselves that they conceded a goal that way. Just too many players overloading the ball side. Ben Osborne now brings the ball back into the middle for Oliver Norwood, who can switch the ball now to the other Sheffield United player. That is, of course, Sander Berge. John Fleck over to Baldock now. Back to Sander Berge. A little bit of pressure from Tai Chong. And now it's John Fleck who plays the ball in to Lais Musset. They're in the edge of the box now. This ball, maybe just a bad pass for him. He couldn't get the ball in at all. And Lais Musset tries to get Tai Chong to go into the penalty area, but nothing doing. It will be a throw-in to Sheffield United. Is it going to be a long throw-in? No, taking quickly. It's John Fleck over to Oliver Burke. Oliver Burke having a good start to this game. Gets pushed down. No foul given, though. And now Birmingham City can counter, but Aaron Ramsdale can just pick up the ball in his penalty box. Oliver Burke not happy with the decision there not to give him a free kick. It would have been a brilliant area, about 25 yards out. Perfect for a player like McGoldrick, who does fancy scoring a free kick from time to time. Speaking of, here is McGoldrick on that left-hand side. Bit of fancy footwork before passing the ball back to Robinson. Over to Norwood, who is playing a bit like an attacking midfielder and then like a central defensive midfielder. Here's Baldock now. Can drive with the ball and does. Takes one down. Passes it over to Lais Musset, who has a go. And across the face of goal, no one there to tap it in. And it will go out for a throw-in to Birmingham City. A great chance. Really coming alive this game after that first goal. Does really well to beat that man before passing the ball on to Lais Musset. But Lais Musset just didn't have anyone there who could have prodded the ball home. The rain coming down at Bramall Lane here. Slavica, I'm not sure how I'll be feeling about this start. Really won't be happy about how the goal is being conceded. It looked like George Osborne just couldn't do anything about it. And honestly, didn't really expect Maxime Collin to be running in from the edge of the box. Here's George Baldock now. Passes it back to Aaron Ramsdale. Sheffield United having a fair share of possession here, but just nothing doing in terms of creativity. They have had a couple of chances in the past few minutes. 3 attempts apiece for both sides, but it just hasn't really worked out for them. Whatever they're doing, I think they need to change it. No shots on target for Sheffield United yet either. Just the one shot on target. Of course, that was the headed goal by Maxime Collin. And that's a brilliant ball forward by John Egan, who does manage to reach Lais Musset. And it will be a corner kick. Yes, it will, to Sheffield United. A chance maybe to level the scoring here. Seems to have gone just a little bit more quiet in Bramall Lane just after that first goal's gone in. Of course, the travelling Birmingham fans still as loud as ever. Ball will be whipped in. Will it be a short ball? We do have Sander Berge just by the corner flag. Corner taken in. And doesn't reach anyone. It's the number 16 for Birmingham City who can head it away. And now, once again, the counter-attack is on for Birmingham, but dispossessed and cleared away by George Baldock. It'll be a throw-in to Birmingham City here. Just looking again at that Collin goal. It is brilliant. Of course, he does have his eye on the ball, does the number 23 Osborne, but he just did not expect Collin to be there at all, and it really just lands firmly on his forehead, and he manages to just bounce the ball ahead of Ramsdale before getting the goal in. John Egan just having to clear the ball away. A bit of pressure there from the front line from Birmingham City. Ball getting thrown back in by one of the Sheffield United fans, though. Over to Jeremy Bello. And we will get the throw in due course. Here's Roberts now. And then held once again by Aaron Ramsdale, who throws it out really quickly, looking to spark a counter-attack. Here's Osborne, who really tricks Gary Gardner there, over to McGoldrick, who has been making things happen this game in the middle of the park, going from left over to right, looking to move the ball about. And now it's an overlap and run, but Baldock just didn't know where the ball was. It's back over to John Fleck now. Now to Oliver Norwood. Long ball up to Baldock again, and that's Taif Chong, who manages to get the ball away. It was offside, though, for Baldock. Don't forget to give us a follow on Twitter as well. Of course, it's at Commentary Live 1. You can like our Facebook page as well. It's facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. Commentary Services would like to thank our streaming partner as well for this season, Melon. You can visit their website at www.melonapp.com. Commentary Services would also like to thank our broadcast partners for this season, JDAC Football, JB Sports, and Storm FM. Here's Sarkic now on that free kick, of course, offside called on George Baldock, number 19, Robertson, just getting the ball away. And now here is Gary Gardner looking to put a cross in. Baldock really holding on to each other's shirts. And Gary Gardner goes down, foul called. They were both holding on to each other's shirts. Baldock really not happy about that one. And it's a free kick in quite a dangerous area here for Birmingham City. Be looking to get an in-swing on this one. Jeremy Vella, he could actually have a go himself if he fancies it. It'll be Messi-esque if he does it. Of course, Messi making the news here. I don't think you expected to hear Lionel Messi in a game of the Championship, but Jeremy Vella can put an in-swinger if he wants to. Jutkovic is there. Of course, 18 headed goals since 2018-19. He's marked, though, by David McGoldrick. Two men in the wall, Lais Mousset and John Fleck. Bit of a differential in height. Ball does come in, though, and it's headed on by Scott Hogan, of all people, and over the bar. A good effort from Hogan, but unfortunately nothing doing on that front. Still 1-0 to Birmingham City after 27 minutes played in this game. Today's results as well in the Championship. Blackburn winning 2-1 against Swansea City. Not a good start for the new manager for Swansea, as there is actually a long ball forward for Sheffield United, caught by Sarkic, though. Huddersfield drawing 1-1, and Luton Town winning 3-0 against Peterborough. Preston losing 4-1 at home to Hull City. QPR and Millwall drawing 1-1 in their game in the Championship as well. It has been a very interesting first day in the Championship. I did not expect to see Hull winning by such a big margin. Maybe it is a sign of things to come. Could a Premier League revival be on for them as Scott Hogan uses his strength? No foul given on the Birmingham City man. He's been quite aggressive, I think. He's been really annoyed by the linesman as well since the start of this game. It'll be Mark Roberts who will be bringing in another long throw in. The wide touch lines of Bramall Lane really going to Birmingham City's advantage at the minute. It's like a corner kick, this. Definitely taking inspiration from the likes of Roy Delap, Gareth Bale. Throw-in does come in, though. Headed away by Sheffield United, and Fleck can get the ball out, but blocked by a Birmingham City player, but it will go out for a goal kick to Sheffield United. And Ramsden will hope to kick this one up. Lee Bowyer will be quite happy with the way that they've started, of course. The goal was against the run of play, but it doesn't matter when you score that goal. 5 wins in 10 since he's joined. It could be 6 and 11 here if the result stays as it is. Not quite a capacity crowd here at Bramall Lane. Near to 30,000 spectators here, though. 3,000 travelling Blues fans. Here's Sander Burge now, just dropping back a little bit to get the ball to Baldock. Here's Robinson now. Oliver Norwood, back to Jack Robinson. Nice reset, can chase a ball down, but Pedersen makes sure that he is second best, and then Sarkic pulls the ball up. And it's David McGoldrick as well, getting tackled and stays down for just a second. That was Ryan Woods there who made that tackle. He's been quite all right in this debut for Birmingham City. Of course, signing from Stoke City this summer. It's a throw-in once again to Sheffield United. Here's Jack Robinson now. Over to Osborne, who looks to bring the ball forward, cuts back, and then plays a nice little 1-2 with Sander Burge. Jack Robinson over to Johnny Egan, playing as the 2 centre-backs tonight, and then Ryan Baldock, the right-back, A long ball up to Oliver Burke, just not tall enough to head the ball down to Lais Bousset, and then Sarkic can collect that quite comfortably now. 30 minutes played, nothing really threatening, apart from, of course, that shot that hit the post from Oliver Burke. Nothing really threatening Sarkic in these opening 30 minutes. Rain coming down here at Bramall Lane. Long ball up by Sarkic. Headed down by Jutkovic. It's Scott Hogan now into the penalty area. Plays the ball in, but Ramsdale gets down nice and low. Calmly picks that ball up and will look to start a counter-attack straight away. Kicks the ball forward. He sees the run of Oliver Burke, but Pedersen makes sure he's second best once again. Jeremy Bella just blocking the ball off of David McGoldrick as well. Referee just having a little bit of a word with Oliver Norwood there. I'm just waiting for the football to arrive, actually. I don't know where it's gone. You are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. And today's Player of the Match sponsor at the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. We will have today's Player of the Match a little bit towards the end of the game. 32 minutes played here at Bramall Lane. Still Birmingham City 1, Sheffield United 0. Another long throw-in into the Sheffield United half, and out for another throw-in, hits the linesman. It'll be Harley Dean who takes this one. Another long throw-in again to the Sheffield United box, and that one was a bit more effective. Scott Hogan battling with the centre-backs there to try and win the ball. Now here's Taif Chong, but a free kick given to Sheffield United for a foul on Oliver Burke, taking quickly. Here's Ben Osborne now. Back to Sander Berge. He's definitely a presence in that midfield today. Baldock over to Berge. Then we've got Oliver Norwood just covering in that centre-back position. Looks like a 5-2-1-2 going forward, actually, for Sheffield United. His Lais Bousset on the left-hand side. Over to John Fleck, who has him in support. Oliver Norwood now on the edge of the box. Over to Baldock, who has a bit of space. Looks across the ball in. He can go on his own. He will take a shot. Cleared by Pedersen. And it's another attempt by Sheffield United and just wide. But it was sliced just a little bit by Oliver Burke. And it will be a goal kick once again to Birmingham City. It was an interesting attempt there from Baldock on his left foot. Just hits the shoulder of Pedersen there. A little call for handball. And then Oliver Burke, really does slice it. And nearly hits a spectator as well on the way out. First time volley there from Oliver Burke was never going to go in, I don't think. Makes you wonder what Slavica Johanovic is thinking of this first half. A couple of silly attempts here and there. I think Oliver Burke has had quite a good opening half. You see Chema Sands, the Sheffield United first team coach, on the camera as well, just giving a few words of advice, maybe some tactics. Over to the Sheffield United manager, we see Aaron Ramsdale, of course, the £20 million man for Sheffield United, with the ball. Over to Johnny Egan now, though. Back to Jack Robinson, just playing it out the back. They have had their fair share of possession, have Sheffield United, but just haven't done anything with it to cause any effect. And that is, once again, John Fleck losing the ball and making it go out of play. A couple of players on the bench that could could have a bit of an impact for Sheffield United. Of course, they've got Ollie McBurney and Ryan Brewster. Brewster hasn't scored for Sheffield United yet. He did cost them £20 million, just like Aaron Ramsdale did, but still hasn't scored in the games that he's played for Sheffield United. Maybe the Championship will give him just that boost that he needs to try and get back into the starting 11 for the club. Of course, Billy Sharp as well, been here for quite a long time. Was with them all the way back in League One. John Fleck, of course, another player who's been with Sheffield United since League One, has really seen the highest highs and the lowest lows for the club. Wasn't the best of seasons last time out. Only 7 wins in the Premier League. That was 2 more than fellow relegated clubs, however, Fulham and West Brom. Only scoring 20 goals as well last season, were Sheffield United. That was the fewest out of any team by quite some margin. They did, however, strike some form towards the end of the season. They won 3 of the final 6 games, but losing 29 games last season, it's not what you really want, especially going back down to the Championship. They've got a game against Carlisle at home. Is Maxime Collin just blocking a shot? And it will be another corner for Sheffield United. They've had their fair share of corners. I believe it's their 3rd or 4th now tonight, just in this first half, 37 minutes played. It was a great block, actually, from Maxime Collin, making impacts on both ends of the pitch, seemingly unfazed by that as well. Sarkic, I don't think he would have had a chance to save that either. Here we go. Ball comes in. Looking to reach a striker's head, but it's Collin once again clearing the ball out. And it will go to Sander Berge. And then Ramsdale can pick the ball up nice and easy. Over to Fleck. Then Osborne. McGoldrick making an overlapping run, but Osborne chooses not to use him. Here's Norwood now. Switches the ball over to Baldock. And you can see Oliver Burke making that run again. That run is really deadly, and it looks like it could help as Baldock tries to get the ball in, but it's Tyre Chong again. Really impressive this first half in front of goal and in defence, just clearing that ball away. And it's the 4th corner, I believe, for Sheffield United tonight, especially with Tyre Chong playing such a good defensive role. It makes quite a good impact. I think he's known for his attacking prowess, but he's done very, very well at the back here. Jack Robinson getting forward, one of the centre-backs. There's Oliver Burke in the middle as well. It doesn't reach the head of any of the players, though, and it will go to Ben Osborne, who once again slices the ball. It's the first time shot on a half volley, and it goes wide and over right into the back stand where all the Birmingham fans are. 3,000 travelling fans. Here's Roberts now. Long ball forward, trying to get to Jutkiewicz. But it will be a throw-in to Birmingham City here. "39 minutes on the clock. Still Sheffield United 0, Birmingham City 1. A few fans just going off for their half-time snack as we see Jeremy Bella trying to play a fancy through ball up to Jutkiewicz, but nothing doing, and Aaron Ramsdale can collect that quite cleanly. Rolls the ball out to Baldock. Baldock has been quite the player in this first half, really making sure that he can cause as much of an impact as he can this opening 45. Here's Jack Robinson over to Ben Osborne. He plays a nice through ball. Well, it would have been nice if someone caught onto it. Like we said, just didn't fancy it, but there's a bit of pressure from Oliver Burke, but Sarkic can pick the ball up just in his box. Be a big kick as well. He's prepping it. 40 minutes on the clock now. It's a long ball past the halfway line onto that right-hand side for Birmingham City. Jutkiewicz gets his head on it once again, but Scott Hogan can't travel on from it. And it will be back to the careful hands of Aaron Ramsdale. Rolled out to Osborne, however. Then to Robinson. Robinson gets it to John Egan. And back to Robinson. These two linking up well in this first half. Getting their passes in, getting their touches in. Osborne over to Mousset, but it was a bit of a dodgy pass. Here's Gardner now. Tries to find Jutkiewicz, but nothing doing. Jack Robinson can play the ball back to Aaron Ramsdale, who passed it over to the other Sheffield United player. Here's McGoldrick now in the middle of the park. Does well to keep the ball away from Taith Chong over to Norwood. Here's Sander Berge now being held there by the number 3. That's Pedersen, and it is a free kick to Sheffield United. He kicks the ball away, and that is going to be the first yellow card of the game to Christian Pedersen. You've got to say it is deserved for the way that he acted there, holding the player down and then kicking the ball away straight after in frustration. Be interested to see who will go on this free kick here. Sandberg completed 25 of his 25 passes tonight. Really impressive first half showing as the rain is really, really coming down at Bramall Lane. It's Oliver Burke with the free kick in, Goes back to Norwood. Now Taith Chong can start the counter-attack, but dispossessed once again by Sheffield United. And this is a good chance here for Sheffield. Goes down, no foul given. Here we go. Once again, Birmingham City can counter-attack. That's great work by the number 12 there, Harley Dean, a centre-back, almost playing like a striker there as he moved forward. Back over to Birmingham City is Mark Roberts, 31 years old. He was playing non-league until 2015, was Mark Roberts. He signed for Barnsley in 2015, played a couple of years there, and then went over to Birmingham City in 2017, has played there ever since, and he has played just like an absolutely cracking long ball, switched over to Jeremy Bella, sorry. But it will be a throw in to Sheffield United. Excuse me, a goal kick to Sheffield United. Short pass by Ramsdale on the goal kick, just to Jack Robinson. Then Robinson plays it over to Ben Osborne. Here's Robinson once again over to Fleck. Fleck and Robinson really linking up well once again. Here's Baldock. Over to Fleck, just looking for that opening to just try and get the ball forward. But you've got to say Birmingham City have defended really well in this first half, really tight. Sander Berg having to just push back a little bit. Over to Baldock, who has managed to find a little bit of space. Now this will allow the attackers just to run forward a little bit, and Oliver Burke just does that. And it's a good attempt once again by Baldock, but it's just wide of the post. Sorry, it's Oliver Norwood. Just wide of the post, just bounced in front of Sarkic. He was well beaten, but just wide, and it stays 1-0 to Birmingham City. Still no shots on target for Sheffield United in this first half. We are about to approach added time here. 7 attempts on goal, none on target, and only the 1 shot on target for both teams. And of course, it was Maxime Collins' goal. A little head match between both teams. Is Colin tries to get the ball up to Jutkiewicz again. There'll be an additional minute of added time. Still, I think despite the goal, it's been a really cagey affair. You know, no real clear-cut chances for either team. Ball headed up This is Scott Hogan now, right by the corner flag on the right-hand side. A packet of crisps blocking his way. Now a long ball forward by Sheffield United. About 40 seconds of the minute of additional time played. It's going to be a Birmingham City throw-in once again. You know what they're like with these throw-ins. They're like corners. Be Mark Roberts again to take the throw-in. Over to Jutkiewicz. He's not won it, but Taif Chong can have a go. Blocked, and it looks like a shin pad, or it's a boot that's flown off of Taif Chong's foot. But the half-time whistle has been blown, and it does end in the first half. Sheffield United 0, Birmingham City 1. We'll go back to John for the half-time coverage. This is the commentary.
Thank you very much, Liam, and welcome back everyone here at half-time. Bramall Lane is Sheffield United 0, Birmingham 1, and it's been a very exciting game. Listen to Liam's commentary there, and the scoreline probably wasn't what I expected from Sheffield United. I think yours were on Sheffield United to win their first game of the season at home to Birmingham in front of their own fans, which are luckily they're returning back after the COVID year, and coming back relegated from the Premier League, we probably expected more from Djukanovic team. So half-time is Sheffield United 0, Birmingham 1. I believe I got Mike Harnan back with me. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, John. Yeah, really enjoyable first half, that one. I think, a bit surprised, as you said there, in regards to the scoreline, that Birmingham are the side in the ascendancy, in the driving seat, and having the lead as well. But I think they're good value for it, really, from what I've seen. It's going to be interesting to sort of see how Sheffield United can bounce back now, and what they can do in the second half. But I went through it beforehand. They've got a lot of options on the bench as well in the attack in front. There's at least 4 players there I was going through that they could certainly use. If they wanted to make a couple of changes, Sheffield United, to kind of try and get them on the front foot and in the ascendancy in this game.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, we know that famous Chris Wilder left the Sheffield United job, and now you got Djukanovic, who have obviously an experienced manager. But of course, the players need to adapt to his style a bit first, aren't they? And that's going to take time. We can't really judge him as manager of this team straight away, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Of course, the new manager normally takes, he can take, a little bit of time sometimes to actually get into the swing of things, especially in a new country and a new environment. Sometimes you get obviously the new manager bounce, but that obviously isn't happening at the moment. But I think it's different when you're just starting out in the country and starting out in management and things like that. It could be a little bit different at times. But yeah, I think Sheffield United, as I said, they've got a lot of quality about them on the bench. They've still got enough about them on the pitch as well, in the starting 11 to win the game for me. But it's looking good for Birmingham so far. And I know, one of the Birmingham fans who's tuned in today and is actually streaming it across on his Twitch channel as well, the audio commentary that we're putting across. He's delighted right now to see his side in the going in 1-0 at the break, 1-0 ahead.
Absolutely, I think we can't take anything back from Birmingham. They have played very well. They played some solid football, especially in the back, and they threatened even from the back. They few times we can see them playing from the back and doing a good job at it, and they caused Sheffield United a few issues. However, when you look at this, it's completely different from the stats, because when you look at the stats, it's still about over 70% for Sheffield United. They had 8 attempts on goal, 5 shots off target, 3 blocked, whereas Birmingham, they had 2 off goal and 2 blocked shots. So you can have a position as much as you want, don't you, Mike? But at the end of the day, if you can't score and you can't take your chances, the football is about a goal to get you the points, to get your trophies.
100%, mate. And, getting an away win, if Birmingham hold out to start the season, that's going to be a great confidence boost for them as well. It doesn't matter how you win in football, as long as you get the job done. I witnessed that firsthand this afternoon as well at the game I was at. It was, another very tight game as well, and it was very much the same as this kind of game, really. But it was very, nitpicky in terms of the two sides trying to cancel each other out. But I think if you look at Birmingham, I think they're going to show the goal again now as well, just on the replay. It's a good ball in originally, and a little bit poor defending maybe, but actually coming around the back there, the right back there, Colin actually does really, really well to get his head on that. If you look at the positioning of some of the Sheffield United players, there's certain things they could improve on there. But if you look at the position of Colin, actually where he is originally, I think he's about 25, 30 yards from goal, and they kind of just give him free, rein to run on in. The ball comes in from Bella, and then Colin just directs it into the bottom corner. So, it's poor on Sheffield United's part, but from Birmingham, that's really well worked goal.
Absolutely. They take the chances, and that's the main thing as far as Birmingham is concerned. Obviously, Leo Boyer, which is a very known figure as well, isn't he? He's very good in what he does, and you can say as much as you like. He had a few incidents, obviously, a few famous ones, but at the end of the day, he's doing a good job as it is. We're just going to direct the subject quickly here, Mike. Obviously, we got two breaking news here. One is actually Lukaku's fees being agreed by sound of it, £97.5 million back to Chelsea, which obviously is a huge lot of money for a player when you sold or you got rid of a year or two ago. But obviously Lukaku wants to come back. But obviously the second breaking news, which has been trending quite a lot recently in the last few minutes, which is linked really to Lukaku in an indirect way, is Inter Milan on the brink of liquidation, which is, it's really hard to imagine, isn't it? And we were talking about it in the Leicester game regarding the Super League and how the Italian and the Spanish clubs suffering, and they're the only ones who actually stayed in that idea of the Super League. And now we start seeing the first signs of it, and Inter Milan going into liquidation. It's really, really unbelievable to hear that of such a great club of Internazionale of Italy.
100%, mate. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievably sad as well. In fact, that such a really well decorated club. Won lots and lots of trophies, sort of domestically, and on the international, actually on the more sort of national stage and international stage, as well. With European Cups and whatever, they've done really well in that. So it's such a shame to hear that in regards to Inter Milan. And that, of course, that's probably a big reason in Romelu Lukaku, getting this deal over the line, and Inter Milan wanting to get this deal over the line as quickly as they can to give themselves the best possible chance of survival. But touching on Lukaku as well, I think it's going to be a good move for him to go back to Chelsea. He didn't really work out that well for him previously, but he went to Man United. Obviously, he's played at Everton in England. He's played in the English Premier League for a number of clubs. And I think we said it off stream before we jumped between the Leicester stream and this stream. It was very much a Paul Pogba situation. Of course, Pogba being released by Man United and then re-signed for a very hefty fee. And Romelu Lukaku going to Chelsea is very much under the same kind of brush, really. Yeah.
No, absolutely, and we've seen it a few times. Or obviously, we can't. Being Spurs and Arsenal fans here talking, and the other day we put the facts in front of us, and in the way that Chelsea scouts have worked very, very well over the 10 years or so. When you look at the likes of bringing people like Mo Salah and Kevin De Bruyne and Romelu Lukaku, it's couple of players who just came off of my mind, and they're all really gone to Chelsea. It didn't work out for some reason, but they carried on afterwards and they became superstars, haven't they? So, but with this time around, with Lukaku, they seem to be very determined under Thomas Tuchel to bring the player back to the bridge.
Yeah, 100%. And they've just lost, obviously, Olivier Giroud, Tammy Abraham. You don't know what his future, sort of looks like at the moment, whether he'll stay, or I suppose if they're signing Lukaku, he'll probably be out the door as well. Of course, with Timo Werner, another one who they'll sort of heavily rely on this season in terms of the goals that they want him to score. And then they've got a lot of attacking threat as well, haven't they, with Ziyech and Havertz and Christian Pulisic, and they've got a lot of depth, Chelsea. And I won't say too much. Listen on Thursday, but Chelsea, for me, I thought they'll have a really good season.
Of course, tomorrow we got two games for you. The first one is Fulham Middlesbrough, and the second one is Coventry Forest by Nicholas Jones. But the first one is by Ross Vernon, who is with us now. Good evening, Ross.
Good evening, John. Good evening, Mike. Good evening, Liam. Good evening, everybody. How you doing, guys? You okay?
Yeah, not bad, Ross.
Yeah, doing good, Russ. Of course, before John throws a question over to you, you was at a game this afternoon as well, and like myself, got to soak it all in again, mate. So lovely to be back watching football, wasn't it?
It is, Mike. Yes, lovely to be back watching football, my friend. And good atmosphere. Good to see fans in and around, sat aside one another, no social distance anymore, and good to chat to fans of games and see the players. And I actually, just to throw out there, I actually saw Chris Kamara, and I actually saw former, speaking with we on the Sheffield United game, I actually saw former Sheffield United assistant under Chris Wilder, Alan Nill, at the ACL New York City, where I watched Rotherham United beat Plymouth 2-0 in League One earlier, John. And I asked Alan Nill when he was going to get back into football and management, and he said to me, when Chris Wilder gets another job, that's when he will be back in football. So that's when he'll be back working in football. Once Chris Wilder gets another managerial job, that's when Alan Neil will be back in football. And he also saw Chris Kamara as well, who's looking forward to the new season, he says. And he says he can't wait for another fantastic season ahead. Chris Kamara did.
Cheers, Ross. It's so great to have you and Mike with us today to share your experiences regarding going back on the football stands, and of course it seems like both your teams have won today in Borough and Rotherham, and it's fantastic stuff. Ross, while you're here, just before you joined, we were talking about the breaking news that came up regarding Inter Milan heading into liquidation, and of course, in the same time, Lukaku. £97.5 million deal seemed to be agreed to go back to the bridge from Inter Milan. Early on, we discussed about the financial difficulties of the Italian and the Spanish leagues, and it looks like it's really coming true, isn't it? In a way that they're the only ones who decided to keep the Super League idea alive, and now we've got a big club, one of the biggest clubs in the world, on the brink of liquidation. Now, that's not really good news, and it's not really good for football either, isn't it? No,
and as you know, John, I'm a Leeds United fan, and we almost went into liquidation a few years ago, but then Ken Bates bought us out, and I know that Portsmouth almost went into it as well over here. Bury's gone into it, Macclesfield as well. They've had to reform couple of teams there, AFC Bury now and Macclesfield FC. So it's not nice to see clubs going out of business, and hopefully into Milan and into can get sorted and get a new owner to steady the ship and stop them going from in liquidation, because it's never nice to see a team going to liquidation. And seeing a message in our group chat on Facebook as well from Liam. And I just want to say, Liam, if you can hear me, my friend, you're doing a fantastic job from my head in that first half. Keep going, mate. Once you've done one game, you'll get the hang of it, mate. I know this is your first game for us, but you're doing a fantastic job so far. So keep up, mate, and you're doing great on the current job so far, Liam. So I just want to say that as well, John, if that was okay with you, my friend.
Of course it is, mate. Anytime. It's not a problem at all. Not a problem at all, Ross. Just before we go back, we've probably got a couple of minutes, if not less, to go back. Quickly, Mike, you saw the first half. What's your prediction for the second half? Do you think Sheffield United will be able to come back and get the first home league win of the season?
I think that it's going to be a really good second half. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in regards to substitutions and whatever as well. Of course, as I mentioned, they've got a lot of options on the bench with, Billy Sharp being one, Luke Freeman being another. There's a couple of other notable names there that they can use. I think they're looking at actually maybe bringing on David McGoldrick is there, and Moose, of course, as well. So they've got a lot of talent, even on the pitch as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to sort of see what Sheffield United can do and whether they're able to have a better sort of time of things in front of goal in the second half. But for Birmingham, I think they'll just be wanting more of the same. And Lee Bowyer, I'm sure at half-time, that's probably what the words he kind of probably said, yeah.
Ross, I'll come to you on this one. I know you didn't see the first half, and I appreciate that. However, Lee Bowyer, obviously an ex-Leeds player, and obviously you're aware of his mentality and his history of some sort, even in managerial-wise. Just quickly, in 30 seconds, what do you think Lee Bowyer's can do for Birmingham this season?
I think if you can get the players playing like he wants them to play, like he got Charlton playing when he was at Charlton, I think they could get towards the playoff places. John, and I think they could get into the playoffs.
Thank you very much, Ross. And the players are heading out, so we're going to head back to Liam Brusby for the second half action. Good evening again, Liam.
I do appreciate it. I'll be completely honest. I am incredibly nervous for all this. So I do really appreciate all the kind words from everyone. And hello as well, if you are listening along. Be sure to get your comments in for what you think the score prediction will be and what you think Sheffield United as well could do to come back in this game. No changes at halftime for either team. I think maybe Sheffield United should be looking to the subs bench. They do have Billy Sharp on the bench, who scored 23 goals in the Championship last time out. I know it was a long time ago, but you know he can make that impact. Of course, a near packed out crowd at Bramall Lane tonight, near 30,000 fans in attendance, with 3,000 of them fans part of the Blues faithful. Kick-off by Sheffield United in this second half. It is still Sheffield United 0, Birmingham City 1. And we see John Egan on the right-hand side, going from left to right this time. Of course, Sheffield United playing a 4-4-2 in the first and seemingly in the second half as well. And then I actually got mistaken. I thought it was a 4-4-2 for Birmingham City, but they're actually playing a 3-5-2 this evening. And to be quite honest, the way that they've defended, it has really, really worked out with them playing 3 centre-backs. The long balls forward by Mark Roberts and Christian Pedersen as well have really been good. It was, of course, the Jeremy Bella assist to the Maxime Collin goal on 19 minutes, with Oliver Berg nearly levelling the scoring straight after about 60 seconds later, in the 20th minute, hitting the post, though, and Matthias Sarkic almost beaten there. We do see John Egan on the ball, though, stops dead in his tracks because he doesn't have any options. He has to play it back to Oliver Norwood. They're being pushed back right near their own penalty spot here, are Sheffield United. Then we see Jake Robinson over to Ben Osborne. Ben Osborne was quite good in the first half, trying to whip a few balls in, but just nothing doing for him, unfortunately. Getting their touches in. Here's Sander Berger now, the record signing for Sheffield United. Just turns Jutkovic around and then can drive with the ball, gets past Tai Chong over to George Baldock, who didn't have a bad first half in his own right either. So both fullbacks playing quite well. I think Slavica Johanovic would just be liking to see maybe some more shots on target, because 8 attempts in the first half for the Blades, no attempts on target. Of course, that shot hit the post in the first half. That was the closest they got to scoring. And then George Baldock trying to whip the ball in, surely out of play there. And it is now. It will be a throw-in to Sheffield United, taken by the captain, John Egan. Oh, no, handed over to George Baldock. Not utilising the length of the touchlines. Sheffield United, as much as Birmingham City are, lots of long throws coming in from the Blues in the first half. Here's Baldock now, who can take control of the ball. Does have a bit of pressure in Bella right by him, so he passed it just back to John Egan. Over to Jack Robinson, though. Everyone just getting their touches in this second half. Once again, though, here's Sander Berger. Has John Fleck running. Now Ben Osborne, who's under a little bit of pressure now from Gary Gardner, passes it all the way back to Aaron Ramsdale. It's his first touch in this second half from the goalkeeper. Was kept quite busy, of course, conceding the first goal. A couple of other attempts by Birmingham City, just keeping him a little bit busy. Here's John Egan now back over to Aaron Ramsdale. If this game keeps as it is, it will be 14 of 20 home games for Sheffield United in the league, that is, that they have lost. losing 13 of their last 19 in the Premier League last season, and it was 16 of their 19 away games as well. They were in a fair little bit of form. They did win in their last game of the season against Burnley. It was David McGoldrick, the man who's on the ball at the minute, scoring that winner. And here's Oliver Burke now, just on the edge of the box. Here's George Osborne as well. Sorry, Ben Osborne. Over to John Fleck. There's a lot of pressure on the Birmingham City players now. Looks like 10 men behind the ball here. Here's Norwood. Over to Muse, who didn't have the best of first halves, and that's Taif Chong, who did have a great first half. Here is McGoldrick, though, steps over, tries to have a go, and saved by Sarkic, just caught, and calls for a corner kick, but nothing given for David McGoldrick. That was a good chance by the 33-year-old Irishman. That's what Slavisa would want to see. It is, of course, his first professional game in charge. Long ball now up to Jutkovic, over to McGoldrick, who tries to play a fancy through ball to Muse, who was actually sitting offside. Taif Chong takes the ball down, and now Sheffield United can attack. It's a nice little fast break here, and we've got the number 14, that's Oliver Burke on the right-hand side, and just saved by Sarkic, pushed away from the path of Lais Muse, who slides down on the floor and has stayed down, actually. It looks like he's holding his thigh, possibly a hamstring issue. Was he onside? Yes, he was onside. It looks like he trips up a little bit, stays on his feet, and then goes down, holds his hamstring, and it looks like we could have a bit of an issue here for Lais Muse. Obviously, we'll have to look at the bench, but it was a great bit of reactionary Matthias Sarkic there. Looks like he's a tough cookie. He'll be able to walk it off here. It is still... Oh, no, he's actually calling for a change. So, yeah, there you go. Lais Muse is going to be leaving the pitch here, and Slavisa will have to look through his bench. Will it be Ollie McBurney, or will it be Billy Sharp he goes for here? He sent Billy Sharp out to warm up. And it looks like he might actually be getting called back now, the number 10, Billy Sharp. They are tending to him, the physios, Lais Muse, and we will have just a little... He has actually got that hamstring taped up a little bit, so maybe it's been a problem that's just been tweaked there, and it looks like it has been a problem that's been with him for a while. And unfortunately, this looks like it could be the end of his game here if they can't get things sorted. It's actually Ryan Brewster who's getting all kitted up now, and this is a big opportunity for the young man, 19 years old, made his Premier League debut for Liverpool, and was one of the youngest players to do it. Didn't play any minutes in the Champions League, but still managed to get a winner's medal under his belt because he was included in the squad. 52 minutes gone here. It's still Sheffield United 1, Sheffield United 0, Birmingham City 1. And it is Ryan Brewster who has a massive chance to open or to level the scoring here. And here we go, like we said, it's a very slow, staggered walk for the Sheffield United man, and he looks like he is in some pain here, and he obviously will have to be substituted. Lais Muse, of course, was the top goal scorer for Sheffield United in his opening season, scored 6 goals, was joint there with Ollie McBurney, but just the 1 goal in 33 appearances last time out for Sheffield United. So it wasn't the best of seasons for him. Ryan Brewster, who is coming on, is yet to score in the 30 appearances he's had in all competitions for his club. At the previous time he was in the Championship as well, he scored 10 goals for Swansea City. So Ollie McBurney and Billy Sharp will have to wait to come on, but it is, of course, Ryan Brewster coming on in this game. The number 7 is making his return to the Championship here. Maybe not in the way that he thought he was going to make it. Of course, he was signed as a Premier League player. It was about £20 million for the former Liverpool man, pressuring Matthias Sarkic straight away. And then there's Jutkovic, who can head the ball down over to Tai Chong, going into the penalty spot. And the ball just goes over the bar, and it'll be a goal kick to Birmingham City. It's a nice delivery as well by Sarkic. I've got to say, he has done really, really well on his debut, really proven himself. Of course, was signed on a free transfer from Wolves. And Chong as well, having a great first half. Lee Bowyer has got quite a nice side with him here. Of course, you are listening to the alternate commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. We'd also like to thank our broadcast partners this season, JDAC Football, JB Storts, and Storm FM. Here we go now. Here's Ryan Brewster getting his first touches on the ball, and it could be a goal here, and goes down in the box, nothing given, and can be cleared away by the number 6. That's Ryan Woods. But it was a great chance there for Ryan Brewster to level the score in there. Just got into the 6-yard box and then possibly brought down, but no penalty given. Obviously, no VAR in the Championship here, so it's a completely different game to what they're used to in the past couple of years. John Fleck now trying to play a nice one too with the Sheffield United player taking the throw in. Doesn't work out for them though. Oliver Norwood trying to press on to the Birmingham City players as well. And it looks like, yes, it will be a throw in to Sheffield United as Jeremy Bella just doesn't control the ball. Over to John Egan. In this second half, Birmingham barely having a touch on the ball. Only 4 passes for the whole team combined compared to 71 for Sheffield United. Here's George Baldock, though, pressed by 2 players, brought down by Taith Chong, but nothing given. And now it is Birmingham City's time to attack. But a bad ball from Taith Chong put some pressure on. And now Scott Hogan having to come deep. Now they can counter-attack here is Scott Hogan once again. Over to Maxime Collin. Number 20, Gary Gardner, is allowing him to overlap. Just allows the Sheffield United players to regroup. Now there's a fair few players behind the ball for Sheffield United now. The red and right wall, you could call it. Here is Jeremy Bella, though, on that left-hand side, trying to get some space to put a ball in, and he does, and just wide from Jutkiewicz. It was a diving header from the 32-year-old, and that could have been number 19 for the headed goals for the Birmingham man. Really, really close. It will be a goal kick to Sheffield United, but that is what they can do. And once again, it would have been really against the run of play. It was a brilliant ball in by Jeremy Bella. Diving was Jutkiewicz, and it was just too far wide, really. Scott Hogan gave him a bit of a surprise look there. Here's John Fleck now. Over to Baldock, who plays a nice looping ball to try and reach Oliver Burke, but nothing doing. Baldock will get the throw in, however. Back to John Egan. Over to Oliver Norwood. And then to Jack Robinson, who had a quite tame first half. Of course, the first goal, not entirely his fault. Headed down by Mark Roberts, the long through ball by Sheffield United. Only over to McGoldrick, though, who can whip a ball in if he wants to. He chooses to cut inside and has a go, and just wide of the post as well. Sarkic had it covered, but just leaves it to allow a goal kick for the club rather than giving a corner away. David McGoldrick has been incredibly threatening on that left-hand side, has really controlled the play when he's had the ball, and that's just another point proving to show that, yeah, he's still got it. 33 years of age, has been with the club for a fair few seasons now. This is actually his 4th season for the Blades. He was the top goal scorer last season as well for Sheffield United. 8 goals in the league. Only second to Billy Sharp, who managed to score 5 in the league and 2 in the League Cup. Taith Chong now, though, on the left-hand side. Is he going to cut in? Steps over, tries to whip across in, and it's headed in, and it is 2-0. Oh, but there's a foul. It would have been Maxime Collins' brace, but there was a foul, a push on a Sheffield United player, and unfortunately nothing given. It was a cracking header once again, free in the 6-yard box, and it was a brilliant ball as well. You can just see, Jutkiewicz just pushing the Sheffield United player down, and clearly a foul, but very unfortunate for Maxime Collin, who would have got what I believe is his first brace for Birmingham City. He's played really, really well playing as that right wing back. Here is Oliver Burke now. Pushes the ball into Sanderberg, who's been a bit quiet since the start of the second half. 58 minutes on the clock. Still Sheffield United 0, Birmingham City 1. Taif Chong will be absolutely fuming with that. That would have been an assist on his debut, and a deserved assist as well. We're having a look at the replay now, and you can see Jutkiewicz just push him. I believe it's Ben Gibson down. Yeah, he has just pushed Ben Gibson down. A foul given, but it was a cracking header by Maxime Collin. Commentary Services would like to thank our official streaming partner as well this season, Melon. You can visit their website on www.melonapp.com. Hello to everyone who is watching the game tonight. I hope you are enjoying the coverage. This is, of course, the Commentary Hub. You can follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1. As you see, Oliver Burke just dropping deep to grab the ball. And then over to Sanderberg. John Egan now can hold the ball for a little bit. He's been not really that pressured throughout this entire game. He's been quite free to play the passes that he wants. Oliver Norwood, just the same, really. And we've got Ben Gibson, though, who has had a fair bit of pressure this game. Same with John Fleck. Ben Gibson trying to play a nice little looping ball over to McGoldrick, and it has worked because McGoldrick has really sort of fired off the attack. But as he cuts in, the foul is given, and that probably was the chance to level the score in there. That was a cracking effort by McGoldrick to just get that ball in. It was a high foot, and the ball has just gone out. That's what they're pulling it back for. There would have been a fair bit of controversy if that ball stayed in play. Of course, tomorrow we have 2 other championship games. Russ Vernon is going to be the commentator for Fulham in their attempt to get back to the Premier League as they take on Middlesbrough at Craven Cottage. And of course, at the Ricoh Arena, Coventry City take on Nottingham Forest with Nicholas Jones providing the coverage for that one. And of course, John Kane, our presenter for tonight, is also the presenter for that game. You caught JB on... Sorry, excuse me. There's just been a big chance for Birmingham City to double the scoring. And now a foul not given to Sheffield United. And Gary Gardner here has a bit of space into Maxime Collin, who plays the overlapping Gary Gardner. And here's Jutkiewicz, who plays it across the face of goal. Oh, and it's a terrible attempt by Scott Hogan. It was an open goal, and he has just skied the ball, didn't get the cleanest of touches on it, and it has gone over the bar. That was harder to miss, honestly. The ball is played in by Gary Gardner here. We see him overlapping, plays a first-time cross to Jutkiewicz, who doesn't get the best of touches on it. And Aaron Ramsdale was flailing his arms up to try and just save something. He was helpless there. And Scott Hogan, all he had to do was just use his head, but unfortunately didn't use his head. Instead uses his foot and just slices the ball over the bar. That was a massive chance in front of the Travelling Blues fans. Still Sheffield United 0, Birmingham City 1, but that should have been 2-0 there for Birmingham City. Here's Sander Burge now for Sheffield United. Over to Oliver Norwood. Sander Burge has been an absolute maestro in midfield, dictating the play. As we see Baldock play a through ball over to Oliver Burke, who's got 2 players on him. He was never going to win that. And it is I believe, either a throw-in or a corner kick to Sheffield United. Are they going to play a long throw-in? It is a throw-in. George Baldock short to Oliver Burke. Then back to Baldock, playing 1, 2, 3, 4 with each other. John Egan now on the right-hand side. Of course, shooting left to right in this half. Then we've got Sander Burge again. Tries to just do a little shimmy to get past Gary Gardner there. As there is a long ball played by Oliver Norwood. Doesn't really help. As Jutkiewicz, once again, he loves to drop deep just to try and win them headers. He wins it once again. It's George Baldock with the ball over to Oliver Norwood. Norwood just passing it back to Jack Robinson. Jack Robinson over to Ben Robson, who can hold the ball for a little bit if he wants to. Over to McGoldrick, who, once again, just like Sander Burge, dictating the play on the left-hand side and in the middle of the pitch. And it's a great ball by Ben Gibson. Sorry, by Ben... by Ben Osborne, sorry. Just looking to set Oliver Burke free. Still only 1 shot on target this game, and it comes from that one goal as a player goes down in the Sheffield United box, but it is a Sheffield United player, and it is, of course, a free kick to the Blades. 63 minutes played here. The travelling Birmingham City fans, I'm sure, giving Aaron Ramsdale a little bit of grief here as he is going to play the ball either up or he has two of his centre-backs right beside him. And he does choose to play a long ball up to the right-hand side. And I've got to say, Oliver Burke has headed that down beautifully towards David McGoldrick. Here's Burge now. Back to John Egan. Once again, Sheffield United in this half really dictating the tempo in terms of possession, but just still no shots on target for them whatsoever so far. A long ball up the pitch, and Baldock has controlled that brilliantly. And they're in the box now, Sheffield United. Cuts inside. Sander Burge playing on the overlap, and John Fleck can hit it first time and calls for a handball there. A massive calls for a handball as well from John Fleck. Corner given. We'll have to have a look at the replay there. Sheffield United players surrounding the referee. He had a clear view of it as well. Let's take a look. Slow motion replay. Hit first time by John Fleck, and it has hit him in the arm. That's an unnatural position, and you've got to say that has got to be a penalty for Sheffield United. Possibly robbed out of a penalty there were the Blades. Big decision there made by the referee not to give the penalty, and instead a corner kick. Will they make runs right, though, Sheffield United? As the ball is whipped in, and Sarkic doesn't hold on to it cleanly, but will pick it up before any Sheffield United players catch it. And just a little sliver of a lack of concentration there for Birmingham City, and crucially, Matthias Sarkic there as well, as Oliver Burke did try and just get his head on it. But nice and calmly collected by Sarkic, who can drop kick the ball up now, and it just goes straight out to Aaron Ramsdale. It's like they're playing 1-2 with the goalkeeper there. Of course, a fair few games being played in the Championship today. I think the big story is, of course, newly promoted Hull City winning 4-1 against Preston. The newly promoted team's not doing incredibly badly. Luton Town did beat the newly promoted Peterborough 3-0, but Bristol City drawing 1-1 with Blackpool, as there's a free kick now and maybe a couple of handbags as well here, as the second yellow card of the game is going to be shown to a Birmingham City player. And let's just get confirmation to see who it is. I believe, yes, it's Ryan Woods. So the new signing, yeah, just holding on to Sander Burgess' shirt there. Deserved yellow card. And it is a free kick in quite a dangerous area here. They are preparing another substitute, though, are Birmingham. The ball whipped in now by Norwood, and that's not troubling the keeper whatsoever. Goes straight to him. And he can just hold on to the ball here just a little bit. Looking to maybe just drop kick the ball as well, as Billy Sharp is getting ready on the bench for Sheffield United. Once again, 23 goals scored in his last Championship campaign. If there's a player that you want to rely on, it has got to be him. Ball headed out by Sheffield United, but once again gains as Birmingham City just couldn't keep control of the ball. Here's Sander Burge now, really driving on with the ball, goes down in the box, nothing given once again, and the referee, oh my goodness, very interesting this, as there are two quite big penalty shouts here, but nothing given by the referee in this game. Oh, it looks very close. It's Taif Chong who does bring him down. Let's take another look at that. He just comes through. You can see there is contact there, definitely. And Taif Chong, he just gets the ball before he goes down. Yeah, you can see, yeah, just the pink and silver boot of Taif Chong just managing to get on there. Now, a substitution has been made for Birmingham City. It's Jonathan Lecco, who was formerly the youngest player to ever play in the Premier League, signed from West Brom to Birmingham City, the number 14 coming on for Scott Hogan, who just didn't make the impact that you would have wanted to. And it's John Fleck coming off for Billy Sharp here, and it's quite a tactical change. Slavica Jukanovic looking to play just a bit more attacking in this second half. As that's Taif Chong who's actually gone down there, so maybe making that tackle was quite damaging for him, as he has stayed down after that incident there. You are, of course, listening to the Commentary Hub. Once again, we do have 2 championship games that we are covering tomorrow. Fulham taking on Middlesbrough at Craven Cottage, hosted by Russ Vernon. And then John Kane will be presenting the game between Coventry and Nottingham Forest with Nicholas Jones as the commentator. It should be a good one. You don't want to miss tomorrow's cracking fixtures. We do have a few games going on next week as well. Of course, the UEFA Super Cup, commentated by Tom Safardi and hosted by Russ Vernon as well. Says Oliver Norwood, 30 years old, had a youth career with Manchester United. It's his 4th season with Sheffield United. Hopefully it will be a one to remember. Referee Tim Robinson just giving him a little talking to. "69 minutes. This game still could go either way. You know, Birmingham City really not controlling the possession. So with the light, Taif Chong is back up now. Lee Bowyer just giving him a little talking to. Yeah, approaching the 70-minute mark here. It looks like there could be another change actually for Birmingham City. It's even Sunčić. I'm not sure who he'd come on for. Is the feed just left me there for a second. Headed on by Gary Gardner, and then Sander Berge wins the header once again. They're playing ping pong here with the headers. Over to Ben Gibson, and then you just see a swarm of blue. Another call for handball, not given by the referee. It's a switch ball, dispossessed, as there's another Birmingham City player gone down. It's a yellow card, this time to Sheffield United. Let's just check who that was. So it's Ryan Brewster, quite surprisingly, who has been given the yellow card. Just leaving a foot in on Gary Gardner after the switch ball had been played. And it was a bit silly because the ball had been dispossessed there as well by John Egan. They could have really counter-attacked there. So maybe, not the best first impression in this championship season for Ryan Brewster. Here we go now, the ball in the box. Pedersen went to have a go, played it across goal. He could have actually had a go himself if he fancied it. But now Sheffield United can bring the ball just a bit further forward, choose to just calm themselves down a little bit. Over to Sander Berger in the middle, who has Taif Chong pressurising him and intercepting the ball as well. Here's Ryan Woods now, the debutant. Gary Gardner now has a little bit of free space, plays a switch ball over to Jeremy Bella. Oh, Jeremy Bella, he chested the ball down, then it hit his head, hit the top of his head and went out, and he kicks the ball out in frustration. And he of course, he did get the assist for the first goal, or for the only goal of the game, really, for Maxim Collin. But since then, hasn't made the best impact. We do have Jukucevic just blocking the ball, going out for a corner to Birmingham City. 3,000 travelling Birmingham City fans cheering their team on, and that's Taif Chong down again. And it's not looking good now for the young Dutch winger. 3 loan spells in the past season and a half for him. Club Brugge, Werder Bremen, and now Birmingham City. He does get the odd start at Manchester United when he's there, and it looks like Ivan Srčić will come on to replace him now. He has been a really, really bright spark in this game, has Taif Chong, but I think he's maybe just run himself out. Yeah, it's a bit of a ginger walk from Taif Chong. He'll be okay, but you just can't take any risks with a player like him. Really, really good potential. And straight down the tunnel he goes as he gives Srčić a nice little fist bump. So it's the Croatian, number 34, Ivan Sunčić, coming on. And he will replace Taif Chong, the number 7. Corner now, however, for Birmingham City, taken by Jeremy Bella. Whipped in it. It's a good ball in, but punched away quite confidently by Aaron Ramsdale. And Sunčić now will get a go and just decides to step over the ball and let the ball go out for a throw-in. 73 minutes on the clock now, and it's still 1-1 in this game. Thank you very much to Dal for the comment, and Mike as well. Really appreciate the comments. So it's going to be a wall here, as there is a Birmingham City free kick. So they've actually sprayed the magic spray to see, how far you can go out for like blocking the throw in. As Ryan Brewster actually heads the ball back into the 6-yard box, or to the 18-yard box even. As Ben Gibson just sets the ball out, and it will go out for a goal kick to Sheffield United. This second half definitely didn't have the pace that the first half did, but I think it's getting there. It's looking like it could be a bit of a dramatic end. Here we go now. Here's Jack Robinson over to John Egan. Must say the fullback's playing quite high up here, relying on centre mids to play his third centre backs essentially. Here's Sander Berge now over to Ryan Brewster. He's having a look around, plays a nice through ball to Oliver Burke, but over to Matthias Srčić again. Nothing coming from that. Birmingham City dispossessing Sheffield United like they have been doing all game. John Egan now back to Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale hasn't really been troubling in the second half. Of course, the offside goal, he couldn't do much about it. Here's Sander Berge now just taking a look around. He's got a nice little sort of speed to his turn. Over to George Baldock now. On that right-hand side, just outside of the 18-yard box, into the 18-yard box now, and Srčić holds the ball really confidently. And if you're Neil Etheridge watching this game, it is a worrying sight to see, I think, this one, because he has done incredibly well. Srčić now kicking the ball up. Over to Gary Gardner, who can get the ball over to Jonathan Lecco, who does beat his man, and it's a free kick to Sheffield United after Lecco just loses the ball and then pulls his man down straight afterwards. Of course, confirmation on the screen there, Fulham versus Middlesbrough, taking place tomorrow at 1 p.m. We will have coverage for the 1:30 kickoff. Russ Burnham is your commentator for tomorrow. Here's Oliver Norwood now. You can see that's Ben Watson working as basically an overlapping left back. Doesn't choose to use him though. Here's Oliver Burke once again though. And it'll be a goal kick to Birmingham City. Jonathan Lecco actually given a yellow card for his foul on the Sheffield United player. That's his first of the season, of course, with it being the first game of the season. Birmingham City looking to make another substitution now. We'll get confirmation to see who it is in just a second. Long ball up once again by Srčić. Headed on by Jukovic. And then pushed on once again by Jukovic. And there's a slip by one of the Sheffield United defenders. I believe that was Ben Osborne who slipped. And it'll go out for a Sheffield United throw-in. Looking to make the substitution now. It's the number 23. It's Juan Castillo coming on for Ryan Woods. Ryan Woods making quite a good impact on his debut. Did what he had to do. Defended quite well. And now it looks like they're just trying to solidify their lead here. With 77 minutes on the clock, close to 78. It's about 10 minutes to go. Looking to just hold that ball, potentially go to the corner towards the end of the game. You'll never know. There we go. Juan Castillo coming on now for the remaining 10 minutes of the game. Ollie McBurney preparing himself now as well. He'll be the third substitution for Sheffield United. It's a long throw-in, however, by Birmingham City, who a header by the number 12 there. That was Harvey Dean for Birmingham City. And a foul once again by Birmingham City. And there's a yellow card, another yellow card. That's for Maxime Collin, the goal scorer. And this is a free kick in quite a dangerous position now for Sheffield United. So yeah, it was a shoulder barge. The yellow cards have been coming quite quickly in the last stage of the game, more so in the second half. Yeah, Ryan Brewster just tried to touch the ball down. He was always looking for the foul. And that is Maxime Collin on a yellow card here. Let's see what can happen with this free kick as Ollie McBurney actually comes on, the number 9. It did actually say he was injured. He had a metatarsal fracture, but was clearly recovered a little bit quicker than anticipated. He's had his controversies off the pitch during the COVID-19 pandemic, but is looking to make a name for himself in this game in the Championship. Ball whipped in, and then Ryan Brewster, first time on the turn. It was never going to happen for him. Wide and over. It was a great delivery in from Sheffield United, but nobody getting on the ball, unfortunately. He could have taken a touch there. Ryan Brewster still looking for his first goal in the league for Sheffield United. It's the fans seemingly getting a bit tiresome with this. We can see the fans behind Slavica Johanovic maybe just feeling a bit annoyed at the way that they're playing at the minute. Of course, the Blades not being the best this game. Of course, holding possession, that's always a positive, but you've got to do things with that possession. As we reach 80 minutes on the clock, there will be a fair few minutes of added time just with all the injury stoppages we've had. Lee Bowyer just urging his team on. He'd love to get a first win this season. His first official season in charge with the Blues. Was formerly a player, playing 81 games and scoring 10 goals. But yeah, he would love to get a win in his first full season as manager. This will also extend the run without a win for Sheffield United as well. It would move it to 6 games against Birmingham City. They were relegated 20th place last season. It was one of the worst seasons that we've ever seen from a Premier League team. 16 points from safety, finished rock bottom, only scored 20 goals in the season as well. Not even averaging a goal a game. Only 2 draws as well, so it's not looking likely that will come back for this one. Birmingham City, on the other hand, they're in pretty decent form. This is actually their 11th consecutive season. And they managed to finish 9 points clear of relegation this season, but they will be looking a little bit higher up the table if this game is anything to go by. We've got Sander Berge again over to McGoldrick, to McBurney now. McBurney just trying to get a pass through to George Baldock, but once again, nothing doing. They've just not been clinical enough, I think, with their passing at times. Here's John Egan, can take the throw in nice and quickly over to Norwood. Both these teams playing in the first round of the Carabao Cup. Carlisle at home to Colchester. Carlisle at home for Sheffield United and Colchester at home for Birmingham City. Then after that, Birmingham have got Stoke City at home, Bournemouth at home, Luton Town away, Barnsley away. George Baldock now just getting the ball. Here's Sander Berge now, about 30 yards out from the box. Over to Ollie McBurney, who has to just go a little bit more deep than he would have liked. It's a nice ball in by Sander Berge, but nobody on the receiving end of it. It will go out for a corner as Maxime Collin clears the ball away. That was the first sort of sniff on goal from Billy Sharp. He has taken the captain's armband since replacing the previous captain. And he did. He sort of just got the top of his head on it, really. Corner will be taken in for Sheffield United. It's a nice ball. But once again, Sarkic, clean as you like, incredibly calm. And goes down, takes a second to breathe. But of course, after Luton Town, Birmingham City have got Barnsley away from home. Sheffield United's next 5, of course, Carlisle at home in the Carabao Cup, then Swansea away from home, West Brom away from home, Huddersfield at home, and then Luton Town away from home. It's looking like it's the Blades who have quite the difficult run of games in their next 5, not counting the Carabao Cup, of course. Of course, with Swansea and West Brom. West Brom getting relegated in 19th place last season, and Swansea were in the playoffs as well last season. They'll be looking to get promotion, hopefully automatically this time. Now, Sander Berge just on that right-hand side. Here's George Baldock now, who plays a nice looping ball up to David McGoldrick, and they're in the 6-yard box now, so the 18-yard box, and it's a corner given, and Tim Robinson, the referee, once again not given a penalty as he goes down in the box. Taking a look at the replay. There's nothing really in that. I think they are just going to be calling for anything here. It is getting to that time where they are just a bit desperate. Yeah, it's actually a dive, a bit of theatrics there from McGoldrick, and it will be a corner instead. Oh, sorry, a goal kick even. Headed on once again by Jutkiewicz, but Jonathan Leko just can't get onto that ball. It's a very, very heavy long ball played by Ben Osborne. And Billy Sharp just can't get to it, but it will be another throw-in to Sheffield United. About 5 minutes left on the clock here. It's going to be a very, very interesting finish. It's Osborne taking the throw-in now. Inside. And here's Billy Sharp once again. Over to Sander Berge. George Baldock. Over to Berge. Running down the right-hand side is Sander Berge. He's got pressure from Castillo, and he is dragged down, and that will be a free kick and potentially a yellow card now for the Birmingham City man. Yes, it will be a yellow card, so I believe that's 5 yellow cards for Birmingham City in this first game of the season. It's been a bit of a rough affair for them in the opening game this season. Commentary Services would like to thank our streaming partner for this season, Melon. You can visit their website on www.melon.app. We'd also like to thank our broadcast partners for this season, JDAC Football, JB Sports, and Storm FM. We will have tonight's player of the match just before the end of the game. Just remember you are listening to the alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. It'll be Oliver Norwood who whips this free kick in. There'll be an in-swinger here. 85 minutes on the clock, just a few minutes left, plus stoppage time. Referee Tim Robinson just calming the players in the box down, waiting for the referee's whistle. There it is, whipped in. Oh, and it's actually left by everyone, and then hit once again by Sheffield United and over the box. Over the bar. And Slavica Johanovic he looks a bit fed up, really. There's still no shots on target, I don't think, in this game. The corner was an interesting one, but nobody hit it until it was outside the 18-yard box. And when it did get hit, it was a sliced effort by Ben Osborne, and it goes wide and over the bar. Here we are now. Headed up by Castillo this time. Over to Leko. Calls for a handball, not given. Leko is on the right-hand side. He'll just whip a ball in. And it goes all the way over to Bella here. Bella on the left-hand side now. Has Castillo in support. Chooses not to use him. This is Jutkiewicz. Over to Bella. Once again, couldn't find Jonathan Leko in the 6-yard box. And it'll be a throw-in to Birmingham City now. Could capitalise on this little chance of form. I think you will be happy with the way their team's played in this opening fixture. The 3-5-2 from the Blues has really worked this game. Just waiting for this throw, and it will be a long throw once again by Mark Roberts. He absolutely loves the long throw-in. Just commanding these players. 87 minutes on the clock now, just a few minutes left, plus stoppage time. The long throw gets brought in. And inside, and once again, Jutkiewicz couldn't get to it. He has been good tonight, Jutkiewicz. He's been a big presence in the box and, of course, on goal kicks, free kicks. But it just hasn't been his night in terms of getting the balls on target. He did have that dive and headed chance towards the end of the first half. Oliver Norwood back to Jack Robinson. Then over to Ben Osborne. There's Ryan Brewster now. He's playing as a left winger here. He's got Mark Roberts right ahead of him. He crosses the ball in, and Billy Sharp once again just can't get to the ball. And Billy Sharp, it's been quite a disappointing showing for him since he's come off the bench. Birmingham City fans, of course, incredibly loud. They do not have any transport to get back to Birmingham tonight. So let's hope that the travel buses are there for them. I'm sure they won't mind, though. They are singing their hearts out, winning 1-0 in the opening game of the season. That is what they want after a fair few poor seasons. Finishing 18th last time out in the Championship. They were 9 points from safety. So their safety was guaranteed. But after by about 3 games, it's another yellow card this time for Gary Gardner. That brings their tally up to 6, I believe. Yes, 6 yellow cards for Birmingham City, and there will be a fine going their way because of that. So that's the first yellow card for all these players. 2 yellow cards on the side of Sheffield United as well. As Oliver Norwood has the ball in the middle of the park. David McGoldrick, who hasn't stopped running this game, he's been great. Over to John Egan. Still just pushing as much as they can. 15 seconds plus stoppage time left. Here's Billy Sharp now. Brings the ball in. Brewster. Down to Oliver Norwood now and cleared away by Birmingham City. This is desperation now for the Blues. Here's Sander Berger. Over to McBurney, who's dropping deep once again. Billy Sharp tries to get the ball through. Over to McBurney again at 6 minutes of added time now for Sheffield United to maybe score that goal that will just level the game up. Here's McGoldrick now, whips the ball in. Here's Baldock now. There's no one there on the edge of the box. It will reach Berger though, as McGoldrick tries to fake a shot and gives it over to Ben Osborne, who can whip it in now, and it goes out for a corner to Sheffield United. 5.5 minutes left on the clock. This is crunch time now for the Blades. John Egan getting up. Jack Robinson getting up as well. This is really it. A few more minutes left. Ball whipped in by Norwood. It's headed on by McBurney. Cleared away by Birmingham City again. Here's Sander Berge on the edge of the box. And play has been brought to a stop, of course, because of a head injury to Kevin Pedersen. And it's completely understandable. And they will just take a couple of seconds just to check up on him to make sure that he's all doing okay. 91 minutes on the clock, though. Still Sheffield United 0, Birmingham City 1. McBurney, McGoldrick, all surrounding the referee. They are trying to get this game going as quickly as they can. Taif Chong being shown on the bench. I think I'm going to give him the man of the match, making 7 tackles, the most out of any player for Birmingham City. Played 74 minutes before going off with a little bit of a limp. He has been absolutely cracking, especially as a defender as well. You know, he's known for his attacking prowess, but as a defender this game, he's been great. Here's Christian Pedersen just leaving the field. Here we go, 4 minutes left on the clock, plus possibly a bit of extra time. There will be a drop ball, which you will assume will go back to Matthias Sarkic. There we go, actually played back to Sander Berger, so no sportsmanship there from Damon McGoldrick. It goes back to McGoldrick now. Just goes inside with the ball. He's not stopped running this game. Over to Ben Osborne on the left-hand side. He's playing as a left winger rather than a wing back. McGoldrick now on the left-hand side can cut in. over to Baldock now, to Sander Berger, who has a shot and is blocked brilliantly by, I believe that's the number 2, Gary Gardner. Oh, sorry, no, it's Jukovic. Has blocked that ball brilliantly. Has worked well as an attacker and a defender this game. Is McGoldrick once again now. All the players from Sheffield United, apart from the goalkeeper, of course, in the Birmingham City half. Here's Ollie McBurney running with the ball now. Over to Sander Berge on the right-hand side. Over to McGoldrick. Plays a 1-2, and McGoldrick has a go. It was a cracking 1-2 between him and Billy Sharp, I believe. And he hits it first time. It was a good effort on paper. It was a good strategy, but it just doesn't work out. It was a cracking 1-2 with Billy Sharp. Maybe just the second pass by Billy Sharp, just a bit too firm as we go into the 94th minute of play. Now, Matija Sarkic will just take as much time as he needs for this goal kick now. About 2 minutes left, plus maybe a little bit of stoppage time in this game. It's been a good performance defensively from Birmingham City, and of course, getting that goal when they needed it. Jonathan Lecco just getting a little push from John Egan over to Baldock now. They are really pushing on here to get that equaliser. 94 minutes on the clock now. Here's Billy Sharp. Will he be able to get the ball? And no, he doesn't. And Pedersen smashed into the advertising hoardings as well. It'll be another goal kick to Birmingham City. But we are just having a little break. As Pedersen gets brought back up to his feet, Gary Gardner showing his appreciation to his teammate. Pedersen has been great in this second half, defended really well. As the Sheffield United fans, you can see they're not impressed by this first performance of Slavica Johanovic. They are leaving the ground early, and they are not confident of another goal from the Blades. 1 minute left on the clock. Here's Baldock over to McBurney, the number 9. Does all he can, but just gets too pressured and loses the ball. Here's Jukovic winning another header. Jonathan Lecco is pushed down onto the ground, and it is a foul. And with 40 seconds left on the clock, is this going to be the last attack? Oh, sorry, now it's a throw into Sheffield United. Here's John Egan, pushed up. Ben Osborne wants to make sure that they are going as high up as possible. Brewster just going back a little bit. Over to Osborne again. Here's Robinson. Over to Brewster. You can see Osborne just sprinting through now. Plays the ball in. Oh, and Ollie McBurney can't get to the ball. Literally 10 seconds left. That would have been the opportunity to level a scoring now. Ollie McBurney, though. Back to Sander Berger. It's a corner. We are into the 96th minute of this game. The 6 minutes of 6 minutes stoppage time has been played. This will be, you must say, the last attack of the game. Oliver Norwood will take the ball in. It's a good delivery. Headed in. And can it be cleared away? It will be cleared away by Birmingham City. Has the whistle blown yet? No, it hasn't. Aaron Ramsdale pushing their team as far forward as they can. This will be the last attack, you've got to say. Ben Watson pushes the ball up once again. Oliver Norwood, ball gets dispossessed by Birmingham City. Jonathan Lecco now trying to just hold the ball as much as he can. He loses it to Ollie McBurney. Ollie McBurney crosses the ball in, but cleared once again by Birmingham City. It's absolute chaos here. Still going into the 97th minute of the game. Here's McGoldrick, about a third away from the goal, into this penalty box now. Cleared away by, I believe that's the number 12 there. It's Harley Dean, who hasn't put a foot wrong this game either. And a free kick to Sheffield United, I believe. Yes, it is. Oh, that is the game, actually. So no foul is being given, and that is the game. And it does end. Sheffield United 0, Birmingham City 1. In this first game of the season, it was a tense affair. It was cagey, and Sheffield United, with all the opportunities that they had, could not get it done. And that is a massive, massive win to get the season started for Birmingham City. Lee Bowyer with his 6th win in 11 games for Birmingham City as well. That was a great start for the Birmingham City manager. This is the commentary. Back to John.
Thank you very much, Liam. And Liam Brosby, everyone, is making his debut for us at the Commentary Hub. Liam, if you just stay with us for a few minutes, I'll come back to you with a couple of questions if I may. First, I'll go to Russ Vernon. Russ, we've seen disallowed goal and few penalties. What's your opinions on that? Was it a bit harsh on not being given, or do you think the right decision's been made on them decisions?
Well, the penalty decisions, I thought they should have been given, John, to be honest. They looked penalties to me, but the disallowed goal, I've seen them given, I've seen them not given. They can go either way, just as a matter of opinion towards whoever's officiating that game this evening. And Tim Robinson, the referee, didn't think he was a clear goal and gave the free kick instead for the push. I can see why he's given it, but on the other hand, I can see why some referees may not have given it. So I think with Birmingham in that second half, I only saw the second half. I saw the winning goal at half time on my pictures I've got here. And in that second half, Birmingham defended resolutely. The Sheffield United had chances and Birmingham had chances of their own. But when Sheffield United went forward and created chances, Birmingham just held strong at the back and defended really, really well to claim a 1-0 win and an opening day win with an opening day clean sheet.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic win for Birmingham away from home as well against a team who just got relegated from the Premier League. So it's a fantastic win for Birmingham City away from home. Mike, what Russ was talking about and regarding decisions, does that sort of justify VAR in the Premier League in the top flight at the moment?
I'm not a massive fan of VAR and the way that VAR is being implemented, and some of the refereeing decisions of how they use VAR and how long it takes and stuff as well. If it's done how it was done in the Euros, fair enough. Because I really like that. It didn't take long to make decisions, and they did get probably a large portion of them right as well. But in terms of for the Championship, possibly could be looked at for the Championship because. I do agree with Russ. I do think there was at least one in there which could have been given in terms of penalties. But, it was a great performance from Birmingham. I thought they were really, really solid, defended really, really well. Were, resolute, compact, everything they needed to be. And, just got themselves off to a really good start, as Russ said, positive result. And also, the clean sheet as well. So, Lee Bowyer's men, I'm sure, will be delighted right now. And of course, going to Bramall Lane, it's going to be a very hard place for many to go this year. So to go there and win on the opening day, that sets them up nicely for the rest of the season. I think Birmingham, and I think it's that was Lee Bowyer there, just running on the pitch and doing some sort of celebration there in front on the pitch there to the fans. But it was good performance from Birmingham anyway. Yeah.
It's probably in front of the Sheffield United fans as well, knowing Lee Bowyer. Liam, bring it back to the chat. I'm just looking at the recent games or the preparations of both teams. Now, I've looked at it. You're a very knowledgeable man, and unless I've got my stats wrong, Birmingham played about 4 or 5 games pre-season, where Sheffield United only played the one against Doncaster, which they won. Surely that has been lack of preparation, doesn't it, for the Championship, and that probably affected them for today's game?
Yeah, definitely. I think after the season that they've had in the circumstances that I think just the country, the world's in, you really do need to be playing as many games as possible. And the fact that they've only played 1 game in pre-season, it really doesn't help. And I think it's really showed how it hasn't helped this evening. 8 shots in the first half, none on target. Multiple shots in the second half as well, maybe a couple on target, but that's it. Really no sort of massive impact from any player on the team to try and level the scoring at any point in that game.
So are we talking about match fitness as far as Sheffield United is concerned, or Birmingham were the better team, shall we say?
So I think, honestly, Sheffield United were the better team in that game, but it's more the fact that they had so many chances, they had so much possession, but they didn't do anything with it. There's so much you can do on a training ground, but you need to play as many games as possible to perfect them things. And the fact that they've only played 1 game hasn't allowed them to do that.
Mike, obviously, Liam just confirmed to me that they did play the one game. It's quite outrageous, isn't it, to hear a team of as big as Sheffield United, the calibre they are, that they only prepare one pre-season game against Doncaster.
Yeah, it's unheard of, especially in the current way of the world as well. As Liam rightly pointed out just a moment ago, you would want to get your match fitness up, and you would want to play as many games and try and get as many 90 minutes under your belt as you can before the big kickoff. And yeah, I think that really has come back and played a part today in terms of their performance and in terms of not getting the result as well. So I have to agree and echo with what Liam said just a moment ago in regards to their lack of preparation. And yeah, it's surprising, not just for a championship side to have that sort of lack of preparation there, but aside, in Sheffield United, who were relegated from the Premier last season and surely will want to bounce back at the earliest opportunity that they're given.
Russ, you're a Yorkshire man, and obviously you're a Leeds fan, but you can understand the passion that Yorkshire people have got for their clubs. If they were Sheffield United, Wednesday, Leeds, Rotherham, etc. Surely that is going to hurt the Sheffield United fans, isn't it, today's result, considering it's not just a game, but it's a game at home against a team who finished 18th last season in the Championship.
Yes, and under new management as well, Sheffield United in Slavica Jokanovic as well, and for him to go off to a fantastic start in his first competitive game in charge due to the friendly that they had against Doncaster. They did have one out in Spain against Europa Point as well at the beginning of July on the 10th, which they won, and I think they had a couple more which were behind closed doors, which weren't publicised for the friendlies as well. But considering I only saw the second half, and considering the way Sheffield United pressing that second half and had chances didn't take them, a lot of pressure was already on Ryan Brewster for not performing well in the Premier League towards back end of last season and since he came into Sheffield United. And he's not started off well here tonight either from what I've seen. And I know we've still got Liam here as well. And Liam, you've seen the entire match tonight. I only saw the second half, and I saw a lot of Sheffield United last season with me following the Premier League quite closely with my team Leeds in the Premier League there. And with Sheffield United and Ryan Brewster, how do you think he did tonight? Because from what I've been gathering and from what I've been reading on social media, so still some of the Sheffield United fans aren't happy with the performances from Ryan Brewster. Do you think that's a fair assessment? Do you think the Blaze fans have the quite right to not be happy with Brewster so far since he's coming to Bramall Lane?
Yeah, I completely get why they'd be frustrated. I think with the money that you've spent on him, and the potential that you can see he has, of course, in the Championship, he scored 10 goals for Swansea when he went on loan with them whilst he was at Liverpool. You would be frustrated. I know it's maybe a bit of an odd circumstance to come on after Lys was injured about 60 minutes into the game. It is definitely an odd circumstance to come on. You're sort of just thrown right into the deep end. But I think tonight showed that there is still definitely work to be done for him. And, it does make you think, is that work going to be done? Because, how many games did he play last season? It was about 30-odd games for Sheffield United, whether it was playing as a starter or coming on as a substitute. He still hasn't scored. I don't even know if he's assisted any goals either. So it doesn't look good for him, is all you can really say.
That's very interesting to hear that. I mean, you do expect players who are actually coming down and from the Premier League to do a bit better. But that is football, isn't it? And that's the beauty of football. Just to remind everyone that tomorrow we've got a couple of games at 4:30. Beg your pardon, at 1:30 we got Fulham versus Middlesbrough with our very own Russ Vernon. And then at 4:30 we got Coventry City versus Nottingham Forest with our own Nicholas Jones. And on Wednesday, we got the UEFA Super Cup, Chelsea versus Villarreal, I beg your pardon, not Real Madrid. And that is at 8 o'clock in the evening with our other debutant, Tom Savdary. Of course, today commentator Liam Brusby done a very good job and on his debut for the Commentary Hub. So well done, Liam, for tonight. And of course, we're going to hear more from Liam in the future, in the next coming weeks. It's going to be a massive big schedule. It's a big season for not just for the Commentary Hub, but football in general. It's going to go through YouTube, Storm FM, JDAC Football, and of course JB Sports. And that's of course with the association of our official sponsors for the season, Melon. Liam, Mike, and Russ, would like to thank you all very much for tonight.
Sorry, John, I've just got a question for Liam before we wrap up as well, and it's in regards to the man that he gave man of the match to, who was, I thought he was fantastic for Birmingham today. I thought he was everywhere, Chong, and just how good was he today? He was just, the 74, 75 minutes he was on, he was really just a top draw, standout player and putting a really good performance, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's always a big thing giving a player, it's daft that sounds, giving them a number 7 shirt, but it really shows that Lee Bowyer does have quite a bit of faith in him. I thought, like you said, he was all over the pitch today. I thought his defensive work was quite a lot better than his work going forward, which was quite a surprise because I know he is quite an attacking-minded winger, but it just shows what like a good lone wolf can do for you, especially playing against a team that you could argue is Premier League quality going off of last season at times. But yeah, I thought he was absolutely brilliant, and the way that he was playing going back was fantastic. In the space he was getting himself into, the runs he was making, when he was on the ball as well, he was absolutely fantastic. And I think if he could keep that going this season, he'll really smash it this season.
Thank you very much, Liam, and thank you for tonight's commentary. And I would like to thank Mike Hardiman and Ross Vernon, who joined us again today. Today has been a day when Manchester City lost their first official game of the season. They lost 1-0 to Leicester City in the last few minutes through a penalty through Iheanacho, and Leicester City won their first trophy of the season. That is the Community Shield. And this evening we've listened to Liam Brusby, who seeing Sheffield United, the ex-Premier League team, losing at home to Birmingham City by 1-0. I'm sure not going to be quite a lot of happy fans back in Yorkshire, but as they say, c'est la vie in France, which is exactly what Maxime Collin did today, scoring the only goal for Birmingham. Thank you for joining us, and join us again tomorrow for the 2 games. And please stay tuned, and good night.